It's MP3 and Music Madness on today's Call for Help.
I hope these people can help me with my computer. A technician will be with you in 4 hours.
4 hours?
You can upgrade for just $5,000.
What?
The Universal Serial Config board should be set to ID6.
I need that in plain English.
Help! Leo Laporte at Call for Help. May I help you?
Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to Call for Help. It's Call for Help time. Leo Laporte here and my little helpettes. And ladies and gentlemen, here they are. From left to right. It's like there's 18 of them. Amber Macarthur and Andy Walker. Good to have you both. Look at this new set.
Yeah, it's great.
Look at this. We got rid of the red couches because they were just really hideously uncomfortable.
Are we going to set them on fire later?
Yeah, there are a few fans who would like us to do that. Maybe we will do that. And I think we got some more things to do. We're going to put a big map up here so that when people call, we can put a little pin in the map so we know when people are calling. We're going to have our little chalkboard back there with pictures. In fact, if you want to get a picture, remember, maybe you don't. You don't. I know, Amber, but Andy might. On the screensavers used to have a refrigerator. We'd have a fridge picture. We'd put pictures up on a refrigerator. So we're going to start doing that again. So if you have a picture you'd like to have put up on our wall, you don't have to, you could mail it to us. We'll show you an address at the end of the show, or you could just email an image to us. Just send it to me, Leo at callforhelptv.com, and I will put it up. We'll get it up on there. Coming up, we're going to talk about Excel. Mr. Excel, Senor Excel is here. Monsieur Excel. Bill Jelen, they say the Michael Jordan of Excel. And his new, I love this. This new book is called Guerrilla Data Analysis with Microsoft Excel. He's a wizard. We're going to take a look at MP3 players, Andy?
No, not me.
Actually, I'm going to be doing that.
That's going to be Amber.
You're going to do sport MP3 players?
Yeah, any kind of MP3 player that's good for running and working out.
Now, people are saying, wait a minute. Where is the lovely and talented Monica Latanwa? Here she is. Monica, come on in here. Come on in here. We're going to make a little change because Monica many people didn't know, has 2 jobs all this time. She was also in the promotions department at Rogers.
Yes.
And working very hard. So Monica is going to back off a little bit on the show. This was your choice, though. We didn't fire you, right?
No.
We're going to miss you a lot.
Oh, I'll still be around.
Were you going to do? I'm hoping we should do some field reports for us on geek lifestyle and stuff.
Oh yeah, because we all love that.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. But we're very lucky because Amber Macarthur, who was our
thanks, Monica.
I'm going to pass on the baton.
All right. Thank you.
Wow. And you've told her everything about me and what a jerk I am. And,
She won't believe any of it, though.
and how you should never sit next to Andy Walker.
Oh, no,
too
she
late.
didn't tell me that. Oh, no.
Anyway, Monica, thank you so much. It's been great working with you. But we're going to continue to work with you.
I love working with you guys, and I'll still be around.
And you're doing what you want to do, and that's the main thing. And I'm glad to hear that.
I miss you.
You too. All right, enough hugging. Let's get our
miss
first.
you guys.
Well, you'll see her. She's not disappointed. Let's get our first call of the day, though. Do we have a call for our first call of the day?
Yeah, we do. We have Richard from Peterborough.
Richard from Peterborough, Ontario. Let me do the walk. I got to do the walk because you know why? This man here, Basil, is now the star of Call for Help. He's single, ladies.
Am I?
Yeah. Hey, how are you? What was it? Was it Peter? Peterborough.
Peterborough.
Richard. Hi, Richard. How are you?
Not too bad, Leo.
Welcome to the show. It's good to have you on here. What can I do for you today?
I was wondering how I can get my Microsoft menus to expand out fully instead of just showing the last active ones.
So, are you talking... Oh, there he is! Oh, my gosh, he's appeared behind me. And who's that with you there?
That's my wife, Teeny.
What's her name?
Teeny.
Hey, how are you? Oh, my goodness, we got the whole family on here. How cute.
Well, that's the 2 of us. That's the family.
Well, that's what I mean. They're both here. Well, I mean, Richard, what are you talking about? Are you talking about Word?
Word, Office.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about these personalized menus that Microsoft does.
Yeah, you know how you have the drop-down menus? They only go back to the active ones?
Yeah. You mean like this, where you have the little down arrows that then it expands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to see my menus not in bits and pieces.
Let me show people so they understand what he's talking about. Here, I have to do it quickly. So get a picture of Microsoft Word here. And when you go to a menu first on Microsoft Word, can you get it tight to the whole screen? Watch. When I click the menu, at first it's just got those little, what do they call those sergeant things there? What do they call those? There's a name for them. Anyway,
yes.
Well, it'll come to us in a minute. But then it expands. That's called personalized menus. The reason they did that, Richard, is because they quite rightly realized that people were overwhelmed by the number of choices on the menus here. I mean, there's just so many. And so what they do, the idea anyway, is they show the most often used commands, and then if you keep it hovered there for a while, it'll expand and it'll show the entire thing. But I'm with you. That's how I learn how to use a program, is I examine the menus. I don't want to see the shortened menus. I want to see the whole darn thing. So it's actually fairly easy to change. You have to do it program by program. There's no global setting, Richard. You just have to go to the options menu. So I'm in Word here. Tools, options, and then you have to, and it's different everywhere, but the key is now you're going to know that the key is you're looking for personalized menus, okay?
Okay.
And you're
I've been searching all over for it.
Yeah, well, how would you know that? I mean, what does that mean, personalized menus? I'm going to see if I can, I'm looking for it too now, and off the top of my head, I don't remember where it is in Word. It's different in every program. That's part of the problem. You would think it'd be in general. Well...
Personalized menus, turn off personalized menus?
Yeah, it's in here somewhere. Maybe it's not, maybe...
Tools.
Tools? Oh, is it customized maybe? Oh, it's customized, that's why. It wasn't tools, so I'm going to go to, it wasn't options, so I'm going to go to tools, customize. And then here it is, if you look, Richard, yeah, there it is. All right, so we can say always show full menus here. What it was is, and this is the default, show full menus after a short delay. So we're going to say always show full menus. And then I'm going to say close. And now I get the full menus all the time. Now, that's only done it for Word, though. You've got to do it for each and every program, one by one. Oh, rats.
Leave it to Microsoft.
Well, you know what they do? They have these usability labs, and they bring in a bunch of people, and they say, here's a program. Figure it out. And they watch them. They look at them. And eventually they started to realize people were overwhelmed. It was just too much. So they said, we're going to figure out a way to shorten those menus. I agree with you. I don't like personalized menus. They do it all over the place, and I turn it off wherever I can see it. Once, you don't have to do that once. The key is to look for personalized menus. Let's see, what other programs? Outlook, does Outlook do it? Let's see what Outlook...
Outlook does it too.
Yeah, let's see what Outlook, where Outlook hides it. You'd think they'd have one kind of, common setting. That would be the... Let's see, let's not customize it right now. Let's just see if we can figure out. See if it's tools, customize. Yeah, it's in the same place at least. This is Office 2003. Of course, if you have a different version of Office, it will be in a completely different location. That makes no sense at all. Same thing here. Always show full menus. We've changed that one already because I just have to have those menus. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Bye. So long to you. And is your wife's name Deanie? Teenie?
Siene. S-I-E-N-E.
Oh, Siene. All right. It's great to talk to you both. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right. Take care, Richard.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, that's a thing that bugs a lot of people, but it's an easy thing to fix. Unfortunately, there's no global setting. I think even in the Start menu it has some of that personalized menu stuff too.
Yeah, just looking at on Google, there appears to be a Windows 2000 tip, and you can actually go into the registry directly under H key current user.
But that would be for Windows. Probably not for all the applications.
That would be for Windows, yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, there's no one place you can
No one place. I wish there were.
Somebody should write a little, app that would do that for you.
Just go through. Just whiz through it.
That'd be a great free file.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there, programmers,
it's
calling you.
It's an easy thing to do, yeah. Hey, thanks for the call. Coming up, software to save your scratched CDs. Software? Can you do it in software? Perhaps. Andy has a scoop when we continue. Stay right here. Welcome back to Call for Help. But there's only one thing worse than your puppy getting into your CDs. It's your CDs getting into your puppy. In any event, in either case, it may be ruined, but fear not, Andy is here to show you how you can recover data from chewed-up discs.
Yeah. I had a friend whose puppy got into all of his audio CDs
Scratched
in his car. Tom. It was a nightmare. But anyway...
We all have scratched CDs. I remember when CDs first came out. See, I'm old enough to remember that.
Back in the old days?
Back in the old days, I was working in radio, and the music director came in and said, look, this new format, this CD thing, it's great. They'll never be scratched. And he was throwing them around, and as it turned out, he was wrong. But they were, I guess, harder to scratch than the old vinyl albums we used to use. But still, they scratch, and they can be unrecoverable. However, now this is interesting. You're going to show us a number of ways to recover them. But we're going to start with software.
Yeah, today we'll do software.
That's hard to believe the software could do anything.
Right. I mean, the idea is that, you have scratches on the surface.
Right.
And I hope we can show this here, but you can't even see the scratches on that one.
Blind the camera.
Yeah, actually, you can see a few of
that
them.
one's badly scratched.
Actually not too bad, believe it or not. It's just sort of mostly surface.
That's the kind of scratch you want, though, believe it or not. Not circular, but radial, because there's redundancy on the disc. So if it's just a brief blip, you can often recover from that. If it's a scratch like this that goes, that's hard to recover from.
Well, let me show you another one. This is really badly scratched here.
All right.
And I don't know if you can see
Yeah,
right there.
bad.
It's actually, it's
Goes
right
right
through the metal inside.
Believe it or not, the worst kind of scratch is in the paint. Because if you could scratch through this enough to get the reflective coating on the back, and you can see that's happened right here.
That's how we did it, yeah.
Then you're really not going to be able to get data out of it because there's nothing reflecting the laser in the back.
That's right.
That's serious.
That is a serious scratch.
Can you recover the data?
No, not that one.
That one's gone.
But this one we can. So
all right, let's see how we do it.
Let me show you. I got to two, and in fact I asked the industry pros. I said, okay, so what software should you use? And they said, there's two great programs. So I'm going to show you CD-Roller first. So CD-Roller is a program. It runs about $40 US, and once you put the disc in, you obviously can see your drives here, and you would right-click on the damaged disc, and you can either run a test to see.
It's testing it right now.
It's testing it right now to see if it can, find bad stuff on there, and it'll actually give you a report of what's broken and what's not. But the best thing for this is if you right-click and choose Extract to ISO image file. Now, an ISO image file is basically a photocopy of what is on the disk.
On your hard drive.
On your hard drive, and you can use one of the the burner softwares like Nero,
Roxio, any of them will do it.
to take that ISO file and burn it onto a fresh CD.
So this would be a way to make a backup copy, and presumably getting the data back.
That's right.
So in your experience, did it do a pretty good job with some of these?
Yeah, we kind of mucked around with it. Mikey and I sort of spent the day kind of scratching up discs and stuff like that. Really bad, mildly.
Yeah.
A bad disc will not be read by your CD drive, and so bye-bye, too bad for you.
Right.
A mildly scratched up disc, like dog bite or whatever, a puppy bite, might be recoverable in most cases. So these are a good solution for.
Is there a trial version? A 30-day trial?
I think there is there's a shareware, not a shareware, but it's a sort of a trialware type of
So it might be worth using it to see if you can recover before you pay the $40
for the big bucks.
What's this other one?
And this other one's called Bad Copy Pro. Now, Bad Copy Pro, it takes a slightly different approach. And not only does it do CDs, it does floppy disks. It does digital media like CF cards and MMC and
that would be
SD
handy.
cards.
A lot of people lose the data on their photo cards. That's a bad problem.
Yeah, zip cards and all kinds of other stuff. So, but let's click on the CD-Rom, CDRW recovery process here. Again, you're seeing there are two CD-Rom drives on this machine. And what we're going to do, basically it's a wizard process. So you're going to choose to rescue the corrupt files or go and try to find lost files.
Okay.
And you're going to go next. And it'll actually give you a list of all the files on the system.
Now, just because it can see a file, that only means the table of contents is intact. It doesn't mean you can get the data off. So seeing the file is the first step, and then
attempting to recover it.
Yeah.
But it's basically a 5-step process, and sometimes you see it says corrupt file recovery completely successful.
So this is file level. This doesn't recover the whole disk. This is file by file.
It's file by file, right?
Useful on a disk that you had burned maybe with all your images on it, and you can't get that one off.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What are your favorite MP3 mixes and that sort of thing? I mean, it is not disaster-proof, but what it is it gives you a last-ditch effort to save the stuff that you really want badly.
Software CD rescue tools. There are some, and apparently they work okay.
They're okay.
Yeah, you're going to show us some other techniques later on.
I will later on, yeah. I'll show you some really fun stuff.
in the days and weeks to come.
There we go.
For more on these CD-saving programs, check out callforhelptv.com. That's our website. More of your calls coming up, but as long as we're testing you, let's test your tech knowledge with today's daily quiz. Our quiz question of the day, what do they call a web-based daily journal? Is it an e-diary, a blog, an interactive journal, or a waste of time? Get to the website, give us the answer. We'll talk about it. Not the emotional answer, the accurate answer when Call for Help continues. Stay right here. Welcome back to Call for Help. We're ready to take some more calls. Amber, anybody on the line?
Yep. We have Peter from Halifax, Nova Scotia on the line.
Okay, great. Thanks. Peter.
Hi,
hello.
how are you?
Hola. Welcome.
Hi. I've got a question about Windows XP and Outlook Express.
Okay.
I have my my user settings, my profile.
Yeah.
And my wife has hers.
Yeah.
The problem I'm having is that she goes on, she logs on to her profile.
Right.
She downloads the email. When I go to check the email and see if there was anything that was there for me,
it's all been
downloaded.
It's all
I don't get it.
So you have the same. You're sharing one account.
We're sharing one email account.
Okay. You didn't really need profiles, I guess, since it's the same account. Usually when people have profiles, it's because they have different accounts.
Well, it's mostly, I mean the XP profiles.
You mean the logins? You have each have. Oh, I see. You'd have different user accounts.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's a simple enough thing. In fact, it's the same issue that people have if the same person's getting mail on multiple systems. So, for instance, I have a laptop, I have a desktop. Actually, I have several. And I have this one mailbox. I want to be able to get my mail on all my systems. So the way to do it is to tell the program that you're using not to download, not to take all the mail off when it downloads it.
Right.
So in the normal course of events, when you download email from a mail server, it deletes it from the server. So you go up, you say, give me the mail, delete it from the server. That's what you're experiencing right now. The problem with that, of course, is that once your wife got the mail, you don't see it anymore.
Right.
I'm looking for Outlook Express. Did we take it off of here? I don't have it on here. Where did we hide our Outlook Express? That's my question.
I have it on my screen if you...
You have it on yours? Well, I just wanted to show them how to set it up in Outlook Express. How could we not have Outlook Express? I know we have it here somewhere. It's been hidden away somewhere, so I wouldn't play with it, probably. Well, I guess I could always type a search for it. But anyway, the point is not so much how to do it, because it's different in every program. It is just leave mail on server is the setting you want. Now, I'll do it in Outlook, and it's going to be pretty much the same. So when you go to your email accounts, we don't have any accounts on here. Well, I'm just being so disappointed. When we leave it on the server, I'll just put one in real quickly. When you leave it on the server, oh man, this is going to take forever. Okay, sorry about this. Sorry to bore you here, everybody. There we go. Okay, once you start setting in on the advanced settings, you'll see leave a copy of messages on server. Now, what I would suggest on this is that you probably put in remove after a certain period of time. You certainly should have that on one of the systems. If you know that you or your wife will check your mail every 3 days, make it 4 days. The reason is that mail can build up, and eventually your internet service provider is going to say your mailbox is full and start returning mail, depending on the limit that the ISP gives you. Some say it's 10 megabytes is the limit. Well, that would fill up pretty quickly.
I see.
So the key is leave a copy of messages on server. Do that on both systems, not just hers, not just yours, but on both. If you uncheck that, as is the default, whoever gets the mail will delete it. So the first person to get the mail is going to be able to read it. The next person won't see it. So make sure both of those are checked. And then do check remove from server after a period of time. You decide on what the length of time is. It shouldn't be any longer than it has to be. If you make it too long, as I said, you'll fill up the mailbox. Does that make sense?
Great. Thank you very much.
And that way both of you can have the mail in your mailbox.
Great.
Hey, good luck, Peter. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Take care. Yeah, that's something that goes away if you this is because we're using POP servers. It goes away if you use something called an IMAP server. AOL doesn't have that problem either because it's an IMAP-like server. IMAP servers keep the mail. They don't give it up. They say, I got it. It's mine. I'm not giving it to you. Unlike a POP server where you download the mail and delete it from the ISP, an IMAP server keeps it and says, you can look at it, but I'm going to keep it. Same thing at your office. If you have an Exchange server, they hold the mail. They don't download it to your system. The disadvantage is that uses a lot of server space, but the big advantage is you can access your mail from anywhere. Same thing if you're using a webmail system, Yahoo or Hotmail. A lot of people like those systems because they can get their mail anywhere they can get online, and it's always the same mailbox. That's because you're not downloading it. You're not deleting it from the server. Well, thank you for the call. I like that. Microsoft made some good cosmetic changes with its latest version of Media Player 10. Still no iPod support, but Amber says it's worth the upgrade for those diehard Media Player fans. She's got more for us now on today's Free File of the Day. Amber Macarthur. Hey, how you doing? You feeling comfortable here?
Yeah, I'm doing really, really well.
All right, good.
So
we got rid of the couches. That's
got rid of the couches, so that's
big start.
Don't have to lean over.
Now I know you're a Mac person, and to the time being, we're going to use a PC.
Yeah.
This is your HP, but eventually we're going to get a Mac on this.
Yeah, eventually.
Because then it'll be fair.
Yeah.
PC's over there, Mac's over here. But Windows Media Player.
Windows Media
It's
Player.
PC only.
You know, I was a little hesitant. I didn't think it would be a great upgrade, but actually now after going through it, Windows Media Player 10 is actually, it's worth upgrading.
It only took them 10 versions.
Yeah, only 10 versions till they got it right.
Well, it looks very different here. This almost looks to me like iTunes or something.
iTunes, yeah. Just a little bit, exactly. So they've made some good improvements, and the biggest improvement is actually the interface. So it's much more user-friendly than it used to be.
How do I get this view, though? It looked, when I downloaded and installed it, looked like the old media player. How do I get to
you know
this?
what? Actually, the only thing I really changed is I changed the colors.
Oh.
So you should have. Okay. I changed the colors so much. You're able to go into the toolbar and switch around your colors.
So you like purple, I can tell.
I like purple a little bit. And that's actually one of the biggest complaints I will have about it before we go into the positives is that the toolbar is actually hidden until you right-click on it and can find it. Just so everybody knows.
That confuses a lot of people.
It confuses a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's one thing to keep in mind. And they have a great help and all of those things. But
it's hidden away.
It's hidden away. So right-click and you can get your toolbar, and you can do pretty much everything you did in the older version.
Okay.
So also, I would say that, you know, again, one of the best things they've done is improve the interface and also the language that they use. If you remember, it used to be copy from CD, copy to CD, copy to device.
Now they use the vernacular.
Yeah, now they actually use plain language. They use rip, burn, sync, and guide. Again,
that must have been hard for them because they probably didn't want to use the word rip in their menu.
No, I don't think they wanted to use it at all, but it's much more intuitive, so it's definitely a better version.
That's what people say.
Yeah, and it's a lot like iTunes. You can go in and you can rate your music, and you can include your photos, and it helps you to organize your photos. So it's definitely an improvement. So I have some pictures in here as well.
And you've rated them.
Yeah, you can rate your pictures. This is a picture of my brother and his wife.
Oh, it's your brother.
Oh, no, not mine. Not yet.
Okay.
Picture of my brother and his wife at our cottage last summer. They got married.
Did he wear a kilt?
He wore a kilt, yeah.
On PIE?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he wore the kilt.
Macarthur. The Macarthur. Is he wearing the tartan?
Exactly.
Is he wearing the tartan? The Macarthur
he is wearing
plaid?
the Macarthur tartan. He got it done in Scotland, actually.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's got a great sporting on him, too. I love it.
He's going to love this.
Poor guy, he didn't know.
No, he'll love this. This is great. Anyway, so
photos, too. That's neat. Is now truly a media player, not just a music and movie player.
Yep, and you can include video. But again, most people will probably use it for music. And the only downside is that they don't have the music store available in Canada just yet.
Only in the States.
Only in the States.
Yeah.
But still, it works a lot like iTunes. It looks better. So for those people who don't want to get iTunes for Windows, you can, download Media Player 10 and you can try it out. And it's definitely a lot better.
Good. Very cool.
Yeah.
And it's free.
It's free.
If you're using Windows. No version of it for the Mac yet. Huh?
No.
Actually, there is a Windows Media Player for the Mac, but not Media Player 10.
Is that right?
No,
it's like 3.
Yeah, I don't know how many Mac users get down there.
Hey, did you know it's been 25 years since the spreadsheet was invented? The very first spreadsheet before you was born. Up next, Mr. Excel puts a new spin, or should I say pivot, on the average spreadsheet when we continue. Bill Jelen. Hey, it's great to have you here.
Hi.
Yeah, have a seat.
Hi, nice to meet you.
We're gonna do. This is good. This is really good. Welcome back. Joining us in studio now, one of my favorite all-time guests, Bill Jelen. He's Mr. Excel, the author of a new one. Actually, he's got many books, but this is Guerrilla Data Analysis Using Microsoft Excel. I can't wait to read this. He's here to show us the power of the pivot table. Bill, welcome back.
Leo, it's great to be here.
In our new place.
It's fantastic. I love this thing.
This actually is easier for you to get to than our old studio.
It's only a 40-minute flight up, so you'll be seeing me all the time.
So you're in Cleveland? Is that
Cleveland,
where you're?
that's right.
That's great. The last time you were on, you brought me that great Excel clock.
Yes.
Where every time on the hour on the clock is an Excel formula.
Different Excel formula. Yeah, that's
and
right.
my 12-year-old really got into it. She started to try to figure it out. It was really great.
All right. We might be hiring an apprentice soon.
Yeah, well, it was a good teaching tool.
Fantastic.
I really liked it. Did you offer those, or is that just for...
No, it's on the website. We have
for
it
sale on the website? What's the website?
MrExcel.com.
That's easy enough.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's take a look. First of all, pivot tables. They've been, it seems like they've been around for a while, and I have to say, ever since I first saw them, which I think was in Quattro Pro, or one of those early spreadsheets.
Lotus Improv.
Lotus Improv, that's right.
That's right. Back in the mid-'80s, I think they introduced pivot tables.
I never could figure out what that was.
Boy, it's the most powerful feature in all of Excel, and we did a survey. Only about 42% of Excel users actually know what a pivot table is.
I'm surprised it's not even that high. I mean, I know what it is, but I never use it. So what is a pivot table?
A pivot table allows you to take 50,000 rows of data and produce a real concise report for the manager almost instantly.
So it's for reporting mostly?
Exactly.
Okay.
Anytime that you have a database of data.
Okay.
So.
As a manager always wants to see it in some form that you don't.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And if you think about pivot tables, these are so much more powerful than when spreadsheets were invented. This is a big year for me. This is the 25th anniversary of the invention that changed the world. The spreadsheet.
Was VisiCalc the first spreadsheet?
VisiCalc, that's right. Dan Bricklin and Bob Frankston, back in 1979, came up with a visible calculator, VisiCalc.
It put Apple II on the map because it was on Apple IIs.
That's right. And before there was VisiCalc, you had microchess. No one would go spend $3,000 to buy a computer.
Or you used a big piece of paper with cells.
Right. And I have a picture of the piece of paper here.
Do you? Yeah. This is the original.
This is
this is how we used to do it.
A mechanical pencil and a pink eraser. You just write everything out on
Can we see that? It's on his screen. Yeah. There he goes.
Yeah. So
that's how. And I still see people doing that. By the way,
you do.
I still people. I don't know why. But so the whole idea of a spreadsheet is it's this, but instead of being paper and pencil, because you can change a value easily and all the numbers change.
Right. The problem with this paper and pencil is if this number changes, the 2134 changes, look at all the numbers that you have to recalculate manually.
Exactly.
It's horrible.
So that's why the big gum erasers.
So these two guys, there it is, Dan Bricklin and Bob Frankston, invented VisiCalc. And amazingly enough, at Dan's website, danbricklin.com, he has the original VisiCalc.
And it's like 40K. It's tiny.
That's right. This is it. This was the first spreadsheet.
Look at it.
Boy, things have come so far.
I used VisiCalc for a long time. I loved VisiCalc. I still remember the slash key. That's how you would enter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hit the slash
there
key.
it is. Brings up
my
the command.
gosh.
It still works.
Wow.
So it's
We've come a long way, though. Excel is much more powerful.
Especially.
So the idea of a pivot table is that you can change what your columns and rows show, basically?
Exactly. That's right. So here we have maybe 5,000 rows of data.
Oh, my gosh.
And this is transactional data that you downloaded from somewhere, and we want to...
Well, that's very common, isn't it? You download it, you get a whole bunch of stuff.
Right. From your mainframe or whatever your system is.
Now you're trying to make some sense out of it.
Right. So it's very easy to create a pivot table. It's 4 clicks. Bring up the wizard, and basically, if your data is set up right, you can click Finish, and you have a new worksheet.
Now, okay, so all of those things in that box are the different
fields in my database.
Fields.
So let's say the manager says, I want a report showing regions going across the top and products going down the side.
It's that easy?
And what do you want to see? You want to see revenue? Let's look at our revenue. That's it.
Oh, my gosh.
In 5 clicks. In the old days, this would have taken hours and hours of very complex
Well, that's why I never use it, because Improv made it so complicated. You couldn't figure it out.
That's right. And, if your manager was like mine, you hand this to him and he says, that's almost what I want, but go back and do it again.
I'd like to see month by month data, or quarterly data.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about the Southwest region?
Yeah. So you have to kind of just get this look in your face, like, that's going to take me forever, and go play solitaire for 59 minutes, and then take the.
Here it is, boss.
Yeah, there it is. So there we have data by customer.
Don't tell them how easy it is.
Right. That's right.
That's really cool. So all you do is just drag those fields around.
Drag those fields. Now there's some really.
There's some illogical things you could do too, right?
Absolutely.
If you do something wrong, let's just say, hey, that doesn't make any sense. Or
well, I mean, sometimes you'll get a result that just doesn't look right, or if I drop the field in the wrong spot,
right.
It'll tell you. Now there's even once you know pivot tables, there's really secret things that no one really knows about pivot tables.
Pivot table secrets of the masters.
There we go. There we go. All right, so this data is transactional data. It's invoices by day, and no one ever wants to see information by day. It's better to see it by month or by quarter. So I'm going to right-click on the gray date field and go to Group and Show Detail and the Group button. And let's
so it knows its dates.
Yes, and so we want to say maybe months, quarters, and years. Click OK, and it took those 365 days and gave me a report by quarter.
So there's years, there's quarters, and there's month.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you could even add down to, if you had scientific data, down to minutes or seconds or something like that.
So you have literally, in a minute, taken 5,000 rows of data and turned it into something that's actually really useful.
Absolutely. That's right. This for business analysts everywhere, they can get the data so much faster.
You said you had to have the data prepared right. What kind of massaging did you have to do so that you could use a pivot table?
The really important thing is that every column has to have a field name in the first row.
The field.
So
that means
region, product, date, customer, and you're not allowed to have any columns that don't have a heading.
Okay.
So if there's a column without a heading, the pivot table won't work.
But that's normally what you would do, right?
Generally,
you always put at the top what they are.
That's right.
Okay.
And the other rule is you can't have 2 headings that say the same thing.
That makes sense.
You can't have 2 customer headings.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all you need.
Wow.
No blank rows and blank columns.
What else? What other kind of summaries can we do?
Let me show you one other really cool thing. I'm going to take the dates and drag them off and put the customer field back on.
Okay. So let's look at the screen again because he's doing something now. All right.
All right. So I'm taking the date off.
Yeah.
Putting the customer field back on. And if you think about a typical business, you have maybe 20% of your customers that are 80% of the revenue. And so rather than see all of this detail, there's a pretty slick way that'll let you see just the top customers. I'm going to right-click the customer field.
Okay, right-click it, okay.
And go to Field Settings.
Now we don't go to Group, we go to Field Settings.
Field Settings,
okay.
and then click the Advanced button. How anyone was supposed to figure this out, I don't know. We're going to turn on something called the Top 10 Auto Show feature.
Oh, my.
Which has nothing to do with Detroit, as far as I can tell. It can be the top 10, bottom 10, top 5. Let's say we want to see the top 5 customers. Click OK.
It'll actually rank them?
And it gives me just those customers.
Dagnabbit.
Isn't that fantastic?
Now, it's kind of basic. It doesn't look that pretty. I mean,
Right.
You could dress it up, I presume.
You could dress it up. Now, the problem is any formatting you do to a pivot table will get all screwed up the next time.
Yeah, because we're always changing. Right,
that's right. So they have, on the pivot table toolbar, the auto format options.
There's about special pivot table formatting.
This is 36 different formats that are available for pivot tables. So you can pick a nice colorful one if you want. Click OK.
And they're smart so that if you change the pivot table, it'll respond.
It'll respond. Exactly.
Oh, I love it. Is this in this book?
It is. There's a whole chapter on pivot tables.
I'm stealing the book. Guerrilla Data Analysis. He's Mr. Excel. Can you tell now why we call him Mr. Excel? Bill Jelen. Where's the book available?
It's available everywhere.
Okay, bookstores?
Indigo in Canada, Borders, Barnes & Noble, Amazon.
And MrExcel.com.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah, where you can get that great Excel clock.
Yeah.
I love the Excel clock. Hey, please come back. You're so close by.
Good.
Come back anytime, Mr. Excel. For more useful Excel tips and answers to other impossible questions, MrExcel.com is the place to go, or simply check it out at our website. We've got links there at callforhelptv.com. We'll be right back with more of your calls right after this. Stay here. Welcome back to Call for Help. I'm Leo Laporte. Let's take another call. What do you say? I'm in the mood. Amber Macarthur, do you have somebody for me?
Yep, we have Edward from Rexton, New Brunswick.
All right. Hi, Edward.
Hello there.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
What can I do for you?
Well, I have a question about LCD monitors. I've been considering getting one for quite a while, but I do have one concern.
Yeah.
I'm doing some work. I've been doing some work that requires a resolution of 800 by 600. But most of the monitors I've looked at, their native resolution is 1280 by 1024, and I need to know if they're capable of lower resolutions.
Right. That's a great question. All LCDs, and actually this is true of plasmas as well, have a native resolution. What does that mean? Let me come over here to the chalkboard and I'll show you what I mean. Because the way these screens work is behind the screen is a switch for every dot on the screen has its own switch. You know, in the case of a plasma, it's actually a cell, a gas charged cell. In the case of LCD, it's actually a shutter, a little switch that goes on and off as the computer tells it to. So there's a native resolution. You know, let's say here I'm going to make a native resolution. Let's say this screen has 5 by 2. I mean, it's a simple native resolution, but there it is. There's 5 across by 2 down. Okay, that would be the native resolution of that screen. Well, let's say I really want to have a screen that's 3 by 2. Well, there's 2 ways that LCD screens handle it. One is they just use the 3 by 2 portion. They shrink the screen, and this becomes a black bar. That's one way to do it. So you may not like that because you'll see, you know, your big old LCD screen only have a smaller screen in it. It also makes everything get tiny. The other way to do it is to kind of interpolate, to say, well, this isn't really 1 pixel. This is 1 1/3 pixel. And the problem with that is that the picture then gets very smushy because an LCD screen can't really do a 1/3 pixel. So what it's going to do is it's going to do 2 pixels. It's going to average. It's going to do 2 pixels there, 1 pixel there, and it'll kind of average them together. What you're going to get is a very fuzzy picture. So some screens do a better job than others. Different screens handle it differently. What you want to do is go in before you buy that screen and set it to 800 by 600 and see what it does. I'm going to set mine to 800 by 600. I'm just curious because I've never done it on this one. We have a 1024 by 768. I'm going to now set it to 800 by 600. Now, I don't want you to look at it on the TV. I want to look at it on here. This actually looks pretty good. And it's funny. The older screens, for some reason, seem to do better. I think that's because the older screens are analog or designed to be used with analog video cards, and they seem to handle it better than the screens that are more digital. So I would, you know, sometimes an older screen actually scales to a lower resolution better. This one actually does 800 by 600 very well, even though it's a native 1024 by 768. So it's interpolating, and it doesn't even look too smushy. It's done a pretty good job of it. Sometimes what you'll have happen, as I said, is you get the small screen in here and a black border all the way around it. So you should just look at the screen that you're thinking of buying and literally try it at, well, that's not exactly what I wanted, but that'll give you an idea. Try it before you buy it. Make sure it'll do it the way you want it to do.
Oh, okay.
If that makes any sense.
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the answer is it depends. As usual, it depends on the screen. Some of them handle it very well. And the reason I know this is because we like to run at a lower resolution than the high resolution of these big screens now. And I always have to look at these and make sure that they look okay when we run them at the lower resolution, because sometimes they're unusable. I see some jaggies in here. You know, you probably can't see it on TV, but there's jaggies. If you could get a tight shot, I don't know if you can do that, Basil, of the icon there, right there that I'm pointing at. Can you zoom in on that, Basil? Or is that going to be too hard to see? But it's kind of jaggy. I mean, you can, and where you really start to notice it, Edward, is in text, where the text really won't be very crisp.
Right.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you for the call.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Maybe using the anti-aliasing technology, they call it clear text. Is it clear text they call it? That's built into Windows. That might help a little bit.
Yes, clear type.
Clear type, that's it. That might help a little bit. But that's exactly to handle those jaggies a little bit.
I did have a question, though.
Yes, sir.
Is smooshy a technical term?
Yes, that's a technical term, smooshy. That's how I learned that at the foot of the wizard. On the mountain at Redmond, they're smooshy. One more chance to take, no, I don't know what it is. One more chance to take our daily quiz, answer this tech question, and you'll know you are a smooshy brain. What is a web-based journal commonly called? E-diary, blog, interactive journal, or a big fat waste of time? Go to the website, give us the answer, and we'll talk about it when Call for Help continues. Stay right here. Welcome back to Call for Help. Before the break, we asked you what a web-based journal is called. Of course, you know that's a blog, short for web log. Although many of you answered D, waste of time. You might be right. You might be right. There are a lot of blogs talking about, I had waffles for breakfast.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Remember those sleek Sony Sport Discmans that were popular a few years back? Today, they're like the grandfathers of portable music players. If you need music to stay motivated when you're working out, it's time to talk to our fitness wizard, Amber Macarthur, who's going for a run after the show with Andy, I understand.
Yeah, I'm going to work Andy. It's going to be a good one.
She's going to show us what the best MP3s are. Now, do you listen to music while you run?
Are you
one of those
actually?
people?
Yeah, I'm one of those people who's
It's
running.
dangerous.
You know what? It is dangerous. We're going to talk about that as
Okay.
well, because you have to be a little bit careful and maybe turn your music down a little
So
bit
you're
if you're
not paying
running.
attention.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Okay.
So what we're going to do...
This is what you used to use?
You know what? I brought my old running Discman with me, because I thought you could just take a look and see how big it is.
But you know, this was, when this came out, this was tiny, teeny, weeny.
That was sleek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what did you do? You'd have to strap it around your waist?
You would have to strap it
You know,
around.
I started running in the 70s, and I used to bring my cassette player along with me. So I would run like this. And
maybe that's why you don't run anymore.
that's why I stopped running. So this is sleek, believe me.
Yeah.
All right.
That was very sleek when it came out, but obviously it's not very...
We get sleeker now.
Yeah.
Plus we get more music than one lousy CD.
Yeah, much more music.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to walk through a website, runnersworld.com.
Okay. This is the magazine.
Yep, it's the magazine, which has its own online site, where you can go through, and there's actually a review of MP3 players. So you can take a look, and this will be on callforhelptv.com, so people can take a peek at that. But I thought I would bring, actually, my own MP3 player, and I know you've brought your iPod Mini.
I brought mine. So what do you listen to when you run?
Okay, so this is the RCA Lyra.
This is really great.
It's really small.
Do you wear this around your neck or strapped to your arm?
No, you strap it to your arm with this wristband. Actually, you can...
So you put it in the little pouch here.
You put it in the little pouch there.
And then you can strap it to your arm.
Yeah, and it straps right around your arm, and it's extremely light.
It is light. I mean, this is like
light.
a pack of... It's the size of a pack of matches, a box of matches.
Exactly.
Weighs about the same.
And, you know, some people might not like it because it doesn't fit that much music, right? It's only... it only fits about probably 30 songs right now, and you can get more memory for it.
This is 128
128, and you can get another memory card, so it's 256.
Okay.
But for anyone who runs, you know, my runs are between 5, 10, 15K at the outside, so that will definitely work for... It works for me, and it will work for a lot of runners.
So you, like most, you connect this via your USB port right here.
Exactly, yeah, and just drag and drop music. And, you know, I try to get
Do you change your tunes every time you run?
You know what? I probably change them about once a week and put new tunes on there, and I get lots of fun sort of dance music that I wouldn't normally listen to. Yeah.
That might have been the other problem. I used to listen to Gregorian chants when I ran, and that may not be really the
inspirational.
Oh.
Yeah, that's... You're not going to be making a lot of progress with that.
I didn't run real fast, but I was very meditative.
Yeah. I tried to put things, J-Lo, Justin Timberlake, that type of music on there. I know, which I don't normally listen to.
No, that'll make you run for cover. Okay.
It's pretty good. And then I know you've brought
a lot of people use these.
Yeah.
I see these, in fact, at the gym all the time now. This is the Ipod Mini.
Yeah.
And it's tiny. I mean, it's still pretty lightweight, but this holds 4 gigabytes. So now you're talking 1,000 songs.
And that's great, but you'll notice on the Runner's World site, they rate that as one of the heaviest players to run with.
But
it's a little bit bulky.
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 ounces. I mean, I guess for me it wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah.
And again, this is one where you'd probably want to buy the extra strap, the wrist strap for it.
Yeah, I think it's another $30 US for the wrist strap.
I actually stole this from my daughter, I know, because she put the peace sign on the back of it.
Oh, cool. But if you're a runner and you want to buy an iPod, that's the thing to buy, definitely, because this is a little bit too
the next
heavy.
generation.
Yeah, the next generation.
20 gigs on this, but it is. You can see the size difference, and mostly it's a weight difference.
Yeah.
And this thing is like 8 ounces.
Yeah, there's definitely a big weight difference. Yeah. So, cool. But the Mini's great. The Mini's great for someone who wants to have more music and an all-in-one music player. But I do like my little RCA Lyra.
One of the advantages that the Lyra has over both the CD player and the hard drive MP3 players is solid state, so jiggles don't affect it.
No, no jiggles will affect it at all. It's solid. And I throw it in my purse, and I have an adapter for my car, so it's great, and I just switch the music up.
You don't want to
maybe
throw
once
this in
a
your
week.
purse. Well, you might, but you can't.
I'd like to, actually.
So what do you look for when you're going to buy an MP3 player? What are the key elements?
The key things to look for are actually the weight, the size, the memory, depending on how much music you want to put onto it, as well as obviously the price. The price is a big thing. So the RCA Lyra is about $150 at Future Shop right now. And then I think the Ipod Mini runs for about
$100 more, I think.
Yeah, a couple $100. I think it's almost $350 in Canada right now. So it's a little bit more expensive, but obviously you can put so much music on there, so that's great. But if you have less money, the RCA Lyra is a great option.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to get some J-Lo?
J-Lo!
Okay, I'm going to get some J-Lo on here.
And then you'll be running
I was thinking Sir
Mix-a-Lot.
I'll put some,
Sir Mix-a-Lot, that's good
Tupac
too.
on here.
Tupac.
Yeah.
Or Eminem's good to
Eminem.
run too.
Oh, Eminem's great.
Yeah, Eminem.
You got to lose yourself in the running. All right, we're going to take another call in just a little bit as we continue to call for help in just a moment. Stay right here. Oh, should we do it now? Never mind. Who's my caller? I'm going to do some walking.
All right, we have Francis from Inverness, Nova Scotia.
Hey, Francis.
How you doing, Leo?
Say hello to my talented Basil. What can I do for you, Francis?
Leo, I have a question concerning Mac PC file sharing.
Okay.
What I have is I have a Mac, Power Mac G4, and a PC on a network with a crossover cable, 2 static IPs, and I can ping the Mac from my PC, but as far as transferring files, I haven't had any luck at all. I followed the procedure given in Windows and Mac, and I even tried Mac LAN software.
Oh, you don't need Mac LAN on it. You're running OS 10, I hope.
OS 10 and Windows
Panther or
XP
Tiger
on the PC,
or
and I've been able to use one to serve as a proxy for the internet for the other, but I can't transfer any files.
Well, that's good. So, okay, a couple of things. First of all, you don't need a crossover cable for your Mac, by the way. Crossover cable is needed for most Ethernet connectors, but the Mac card is auto-sensing, so it knows whether it needs to switch over to crossover or not. It'll actually switch its own wiring.
So I can put a straight cable between them?
You could put, believe it or not, one of the advantages of the G4s and the G5s is they have auto-switching Ethernet. Auto-sensing Ethernet.
Didn't know that.
Isn't that cool? But anyway, you got it. Doesn't matter. It won't switch if it doesn't need to. Now let's take a look at this. So you're running a Panther. Is that the version of OS 10 you're running? 10.2, 10.1, 10.3?
Yeah, it's...
Because I'll tell you, as long as you're not running the original OS 10, it's pretty easy to do. Once they got to 10.2, Jaguar, they really improved the SMB, built-in SMB into OS 10 to the point where it really looks just like a Windows machine to a Windows machine. Easiest way to do this would be to pull the Windows drive up on your Mac. You can do it the other way around, too, but it's a little easier to do it on the Mac. I'm going to show you the Mac stuff. First thing, just tell me if you've done this. You go to connect to server, right?
No, yeah, I tried that, and I think I do have the older version of OS 10.
Okay. See, on the newer version, you can press the Browse button, and you'll actually be able to browse all the SMB servers. Because you now have the older version, the original OS 10, you have to type in SMB:// and then the name of the server. Now, you can either be the name that's in the computer description on the system properties control panel, or it can be the IP address. Let me, Andy, what's your IP address? Do you know over there?
Yeah, 192.
192.
168.
.168. .0. So that's his IP address. I'm entering that in. And then you need to have the name of the share. Now that'll be whatever, you have, when you do a share on Windows, you give it a name, like a real world name. That name, by the way, Francis, cannot have a space in it or a dash in it, or the Mac will choke. Right. So, Andy, what's the share name on that system?
It's called share this, share space this.
Oh, see, I can't do it because it's got a space in it. So,
well, I'll rename it. Hang on.
Take the space out. And that could be part of the problem that you're having, Francis. Are you doing it this way? You're entering it in by the IP address and the name?
That's how I've been doing it. Trying to log on, and it just keeps saying can't find that director.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it only has one error message. So the error messages are totally useless. Apple even says this. I have a link in the show notes, and I would recommend looking at it, to Apple's instructions, also a third-party web page that'll help you do it. The key is you've got to have TCP/IP connectivity. We know you have that because you can ping the other machine. We know that's working. Then you have to enter in the IP address appropriately, and you have to have an appropriate share name. You said share this?
Share this, no space.
Capital S-A? I guess
all lowercase.
All lowercase. Share this. So then you enter in that name, and you press connect. You'll also need, of course, the password and the login. Now you can see, I'm seeing, this is good, I'm seeing his system, and I need the password, the username of the account that you're going to log into. What's that?
There is none.
There is none?
No.
No username or password?
No.
Oh, yes, there is, Andrew.
I haven't said it.
Oh. Well, no password, but you've got to have a username. What's the username?
Call for help.
Call for help? Oops, let's close this here. Getting call for help. No password, press OK. And there it is. There's Andy's JPEGs. Now, there is a good program, and I'll put a link on that as well, called SharePoints that helps you do this. Once you've got this share working, you can use SharePoints to set the shares on the Mac side and make it easier to get the Windows on. But that's basically how you do it. If it's not working, it either is because you have a space or a hyphen in the name. That's a nice picture. A space or a hyphen in the name, or somehow something's not working. I know you can ping him, so you're working. Francis, we got to run, but that's how you do it. And as you can see, it works pretty well as long as you've got the shares working properly. Oh, make sure you don't have a firewall. If you have a firewall, you can block it.
Sure.
So turn off your firewall. That might be another thing. Thank you for the call, Francis.
I love your show, by the way.
Hey, keep watching. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Hey, we got to run. We're going to wrap up things and call for help right after. Around. Were you scared when you saw that picture? See ya. I'm sorry we ran out of time on that last call. That's a tricky thing to do to get Mac and PCs sharing, but I wanted to show you that you can do it. I mean, we were able to do it. And then just a few things. The main thing, sometimes people have the firewall running, and that can really, you have to unblock those ports. Yeah. Hey, how was it, Amber? Did you enjoy yourself?
It was awesome. You guys are great. The whole staff is great. It's wonderful.
So now you and Andy are going for a run?
Yeah, we're going to go for a run after the
So we can't go any further than this because this is what I'm going to
Andy uses the Ethernet cable for his MP3. Hey, thanks for joining us. If you want to be on the show, go to the website, callforhelptv.com. Click that link. Ask your question. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.